Hi, I'm Mike Rabideau with Ikelite Underwater Systems. This video is going to demonstrate how to install the Canon 16-28 RF f2.8 IS STM lens on the 200DL Ikelite housing. For this video, we're going to use the housing for the Canon R5 Mark II, but any of the housings, the 200DL housings for the Canon R series mirrorless cameras will work. First thing we're going to do is take the housing. We're going to remove the dust cover by unscrewing the zoom gear retainer, and then we're just going to pull out the dust cover and set it aside. We've already gone ahead and installed the Canon R5 Mark II camera in the housing, so we're just going to skip all of that and jump right into installing the lens. First thing we're going to do is add the anti-reflection ring. If you notice, this lens has some printing across the front of it. Sometimes that printing can reflect back on the inside of the dome port. So we have these anti-reflection rings to prevent that from happening. So we just simply remove this die-cut sticker from the backing and place it onto the lens. And it's just that simple. And as you can see, this anti-reflective material is covering all the printing that was on the front of the lens. So we're going to go ahead and install the zoom gear. It's our part number 5509.41. And we'll remove it from the box. The gear on the bottom of this zoom gear is going to be facing the camera body. We're going to set that into the housing. And then we're going to grab our zoom ring retainer that we had removed earlier. We're going to use the included tool to go ahead and tighten this down onto the housing. Just needs to be snug, not super tight, but snug. Now I'm going to reach my hand in and remove the camera's body cap. I'm going to take the lens, remove the back cover. I'm going to line up the red dot on the camera lens with the red dot on the camera body. I'm going to also double check and make sure I've got the switch in autofocus and the image stabilization on. It's very important not to forget that. We recommend extending the lens into shooting mode before installing the lens onto the camera. It also makes it a little easier to hold on to the lens when attaching it to the camera body. I'm going to take and I'm going to drop the lens down through the zoom gear onto the camera body. Go ahead and turn the zoom knob and check and make sure that the lens is zooming properly. So now the lens is installed. We're going to go ahead and install the first port extension, but before we do that, we're going to inspect and lubricate the port O-ring. Place a little bit of lubricant on your index finger and thumb. Doesn't take very much. And just go through and work that around the O-ring surface. In doing this, if there's any debris, sand, dirt, you're going to feel that with your finger as you're applying the lubricant. We've got that lubricated, so now we're going to go ahead and install the port extension. We're going to back these thumb screws out so that all three of them are flush with the inside of the port extension. One of these thumb screws needs to be at the 12 o'clock position. We're going to line that up and we're going to press the extension into place. Then we're just going to screw in these three thumb screws. If any of these thumb screws are really tight to screw in, that would indicate that we don't have the port extension pushed down far enough onto the housing. If that's the case, just remove it, maybe add a little more lubricant to the O-ring, and then try it again. So port extension's on. Now we're going to attach the dome port itself. Again, we're going to back out these thumb screws and make sure they're flush with the inside of the dome port. We can also kind of check to make sure there's no debris on the sealing surface. Again, we're going to lube the O-ring on the extension like we did the port base, just a little bit of lubricant on our index finger and thumb. And we're just going to work that around the O-ring. If there was any debris on the O-ring, we would feel that as we lubricated it. Now we're going to take the port. We're going to look for the thumb screw that is centered with this large pedal on the dome shade. This is going to be the thumb screw that we want at 12 o'clock. We're going to line up the port. We're going to line up the thumb screws so that they are in line, and this one is at 12 o'clock. We're going to push the port down into place, and then we're going to go and just screw in those thumb screws. Again, if this is hard to do, you feel a lot of resistance with the thumb screws, that would indicate that the port wasn't pushed down far enough onto the housing. Once we've got that done, then we're all set and the housing is ready to use. Okay, so now we've got the dome port installed, the zoom gears installed, and we're ready to go diving. Before that, I do like to apply a vacuum to the housing. We're not going to go over that in this video, but if you need some information about adding a vacuum to the housing, we've got videos on the Ikelite website. So if you have any other questions about this housing or the lens, please shoot us an email at ikelite@ikelite.com.